Have you ever said something foolish or stupid? Well, if you happen to ask my wife, she was gonna give you a list of the things that I probably said that were very foolish. Foolish things, when they're coming out of our mouths, we know that we're saying something very stupid. If you happen to ask Paul, the apostle, what was the foolish thing that he could possibly say to you that ever he spoke? Well, he tells us right here in the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 18. He tells us that the message of the cross is a foolish thing for those who are heading to destruction. Paul understood that the message of the cross for so many people was a very foolish thing to say. And maybe you are wondering, why is the cross foolish for the people who are heading for destruction? Well, you have to remember that the cross of Jesus, even though glamorous for us in the 21st century, we use the cross to embellish our churches or to decorate our homes. Some people even have a pendant with the cross as a symbol. The cross actually is not a beautiful symbol. Back in the days of Paul, the cross was used as a symbol of death. The Apostle Paul therefore tells us that so many people back in his day did not praise the cross. But we as Christians, we believe that the cross is the power of God, is the power of God to save us. The Apostle Paul therefore tells us that our message is the message of the cross. He even goes to the extent of telling us that his ministry was only about preaching the cross. The cross of Jesus is not a foolish thing. For those who believe in the cross and what happened at the cross, we understand that three very major things was gifted to us Christians because of the cross of Jesus. The very first thing that I would like to remember you about the cross is that at the cross, our sins were paid in full. Second thing that happened on the cross, we were dressed with the righteousness of Jesus. For those who were dying at the cross, that dreadful death, historians tells us that they were naked. Some people that were observing those who were being crucified, they were observing a naked person being crucified. It was total humiliation. Jesus was crucified naked, and I believe this is a symbol for us, because when Jesus is exposed at the cross, he's giving us the privilege of being clothed in his righteousness. So the cross paid our debt. The cross gives us the clothes of Jesus Christ and his righteousness. And the cross tells us, the Bible, that the cross is the finished work of Jesus Christ. When he died on the cross, he uttered these words. He said, "It is finished." In Greek, he was saying the Greek word tetelestai. This is a powerful word that Jesus uttered from the cross. This word means your debt is paid in full. There is nothing else that you have to do. It's the finished work of Jesus Christ. The word tetelestai, which means a finished work, also resembles the words of Genesis. When God created the world, the Bible tells us that in the very time that every single day on creation, when he finished his work, he will say, "It is good, it is good." But on the last day of creation, God, when he finished his work, he said, "It is very, very good." That's the similar word to tetelestai. When Jesus finished his work at the cross, he looked at the whole world and he told all of us, "It is very good what I have done here." And there is nothing else. There is no accomplishment that you have to give. There is nothing that you have to produce. At the cross, Jesus gave us a perfect salvation. There's a person that understood the message of the cross more than anybody else in the history of the humankind, and his name is Barabbas. Barabbas was a prisoner that was about to be crucified. But the Bible tells us that the day that Barabbas was judged and he was about to be crucified, another man took his place. You know the story. Barabbas was ready to die on the cross, but Jesus took his place, and not only he took his place, he took his cross. Some scholars believe that that's the reason why when Jesus was walking to Calvary, he fell on the ground many times, because the cross he was carrying was too heavy. Barabbas probably was a heavier guy or a taller guy than Jesus. The cross was shaped for Barabbas and not for Jesus Christ. The cross that Jesus carried that day was the cross of someone else. And that's the history of you and me. Jesus carried your cross. Jesus carried your shame. Jesus carried all the weight that now is on your shoulders. What Jesus is inviting you to do at this moment is to believe in the message of the cross. The cross is not a foolish thing. It might be foolish to those who believe that a man cannot die for someone else as Jesus did for us. The message of the cross may be a foolish thing for scientists that don't understand the power of the Bible. The message of the cross may be a foolish thing for those who believe they have a higher intellect. But for you and I who believe in a God of love, the message of the cross is everything that we need. I believe that what you need to have today is the assurance that the cross of Jesus Christ is not a foolish thing, but is the most beautiful thing that you could ever believe. And if you believe in the cross of Jesus Christ today, how about if you share it with others? The power of the cross. The very three things that Jesus accomplished for us. He paid for our sins, He clothed us with His righteousness, and He finished the work of our salvation. May God bless you.